Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello and welcome back to Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching live, you're probably on the Fox 12 Oregon app. If you're not, maybe you're on that app, maybe you're on it somewhere else. Either way, thanks for finding us here. We cover a wide range of topics here on this show, including breaking news throughout the afternoon. But this is news about an event coming to Portland on Friday, September 12th, and that is going to be at the Aladdin Theater in Portland, Black Sabbath. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Black Sabbath is, let me explain. It is a fast food-related parody of Black Sabbath. Now, that's a whole lot that I just said right there. If this is your first time hearing about it, that's a lot to digest. I understand. They have achieved a lot of national and even international attention for their band and their performance, which is certainly one of a kind, but also for a segment which, for obvious reasons, I cannot play out here. You'll need to look this up on your own. But Jack Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's son, took him and Jack's own daughter to a private performance of Black Sabbath where Ozzy saw it for the very first time. And so it was hilarious. So I would recommend, if you want to do some follow-up after this segment, to go do that. Now, the members of the band themselves don't do interviews, apparently, but the manager, who is part of the band, did an interview with me earlier last week. And so we're going to run that for you right now. Before I do that, though, just to give you this context, I'm going to go ahead and just show you what it is we're talking about here, if I can get this to pull up in proper time. There we go. So there is a look at what we're discussing right now. I think you can figure out maybe who they're spoofing on your own. But let's go ahead and hear from Mike, the manager, about Black Sabbath. Mike, thank you very much for joining us here today. I really appreciate it. You know, I got to ask, though, right off the bat, because I'm looking at your background, where are you at right now?
This is my home.
This is your home. That works. I mean, it looks really very well decorated. I'm looking up at my monitor here. Whatever's going on there,
I am a fan of aesthetics, so yeah, I suppose. Thank you, appreciate it. You should see the rest. This is nothing.
Well, yeah, we may have to do a tour then at some point. But other than that, talking about aesthetics, let's talk. I mean, Black Sabbath, an absolute phenomenon, touring around everywhere, performing. I don't know how much we can get into this, but about the formation of Black Sabbath, or how much you can reveal on this, but how did this all get started?
Well, yeah, I don't know how much time we have. They call me Mike Odd. I used to run an oddities museum in East Hollywood, and so when you put yourself into this sort of land of the strange, the weirdness follows you around like long after you want it to. But but what happens when you run an establishment like that, everything starts coming to you and following you, and you get these calls, and it's like, oh, come out to my shed and I'll show you my two-headed otter skeleton or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's just the oddities business. So when you get a call that says, come down to this burger place in Chatsworth and it's going to change your life, someone like me assumes that maybe there'll be, a hamburger bun with the Virgin Mary toasted on there or something like that. And then we'll go and I'll make a bid on it and try to do a display in the shop but it wasn't that. It was this weird sort of trap Fight Club style subversive meeting from all these people from this that were involved in this corporation, we should say, of this nameless burger chain, that were all fighting against it in secret after hours with, unbeknownst to upper management, that somebody had a key. And so in the middle of the night, there'd be these meetings down there, and you'd go and you'd be squashed between hamburger bun packages and freeze-dried condiments, and sitting there in this big red yellow curtain, and then it drops. And then there's these mutated fast food mascots slaying these Black Sabbath riffs and screaming about GMOs and Monsanto. And I thought I was being I thought it was a hidden camera show, and I was being pranked or something, and there was this weird thing about me, and then they were like, we want you to be the manager. And I'm like, this is just some sort of an elaborate prank, Apparently they'd read something that I said in the press about Black Sabbath not only being the inventors of heavy metal, but the inventors of gothic and punk and all these like alternative rock that all the weirdos hold near and dear to their heart. And then I had said something about food, and they were like, "You are the prophet or whatever." And I'm like, okay, I get the joke. You guys want me to do a few shows because of the stuff that I'm involved in, and then that'll be that. And then it was like I made a video. I got them on something called the Zombie Walk. This was big thing in Long Beach, and made a video, put it on YouTube, and then MTV posted it. Fox posted it. Black Sabbath posted it. So that's what happened. And now 11 years later, this is like my full-time job, and I've closed the oddity show.
I mean, it's hard to anticipate a career going into this path of being like the manager for Black Sabbath, and if you're envisioning that 12 years ago before this. But I mean, it's seriously, there's something about it that just brings a lot of joy to so many people. So for you going out performing, what's it, or I mean, well, going with the band, I suppose, going out and around like that, what is it like, the crowd interaction that you get with a Black Sabbath show?
Well, there's two versions now. There's the normal version where it's like if it's like a headlining show, which is mostly what we've been doing. There's a very dedicated crowd that comes, and a lot of them come dressed up. They dress up as clowns, lots of clowns, and like characters from the thing, or like just really crazy things like robot French fries. There's a guy who calls himself the Mac DeLorean, like he's like a Star Wars cheeseburger crossover, and they're really super into it, and they know actually the words of the Black Sabbath songs, not Black Sabbath songs, but the actual Black Sabbath parody lyrics, and they're really super into it. And then if we're playing like a festival or something, like we just did in Victoria, Canada, and like we're going to do in Chicago at Riot Fest, it is amazing watching the faces of the people who are just walking by and have never heard of it and are like, what is that? What is that big purple gumdrop? And how does he play the bass in that? and their jaws are just on the floor. That's like my favorite. And then there's no way they're going to keep walking. And then it's so outrageous. And it's such a big stage show. And it's so outrageous and ridiculous and fun and funny, and then for it to be that, and then also have this like serious social message about how the government is, killing us with fast food, and to be really aware of what you eat and not lead a drive-through metal lifestyle. He coined the phrase drive-through metal. And so everybody goes, oh, yeah, it's great. It's like a cheeseburger band, and you just stuff and face with junk food. And it's like, no, it's actually, he's saying drive-through metal is warning you about the evils of a drive-through lifestyle, and to slow down and research and eat real food and grow organic food and stuff like that. So,
I mean, the combination of all of those things into one that's a real difficult thing to pull off. And obviously they pull it off. I mean, y'all pulled off for 11 years, and more people fighting it all the time. And to the Black Sabbath side of it with Black Sabbath posting it, which is just crazy to think about. But then also they performed in front of Ozzy. What was that moment like?
It was a special performance of a crowd of 3 generations of Osbournes. It was Ozzy, his son Jack, and his granddaughter Pearl, and that was just the weirdest thing that's ever happened. I don't know what to say. Ozzy just loved it and was just sort of like taken back and just so confused that people could spend their whole lives working on a thing that was like dedicated to him, but then also so weird and specific in another way, I think, but I think he was confused by it, but he thought it was hilarious and amazing. And then Rolling Stone covered that and put that out. So it's a given to say that that Black Sabbath would not be a thing without Black Sabbath, but it would definitely not be at this successful of a career without their support. So Black Sabbath posting it, and then Ozzy, Jack and Ozzy putting it on their show.
Yeah, that's the best endorsement you could ever get.
Wasn't ready for any of that. Was more surprised than anybody,
You travel around so much now too, going to different shows. You just mentioned some of the festivals. You're going to be coming to Portland as well, and I know you played here before. What's the reaction been like, and what's the experience been like in Portland?
Portland is great for us. Portland is, for whatever reason. Portland is also a very extreme place, I think, where extreme things happen. So I think they embrace it on that level. Yeah.
It's true.
Leave it that vague?
That works. You started off talking about the auditorium side of things. We have some auditoriums here too that are fully in vein with that. So it definitely fits in with those things. For people out there who have never been to a Black Sabbath show, who are going to be going and experiencing it for the first time, which it sounds like more and more people are doing that, especially people walking by and just seeing that for the first time. I want a video of just those reactions. But what can people expect when they walk into a Black Sabbath show when they're here in Portland?
Well, I'm not big on spoiler alerts because
no spoilers.
Surprise, which there are many, is a big part of what makes it so fun and interesting. And your first Black Sabbath show will not be like any other because the surprises are many. But let's just say that it's a giant theatrical, arena-size theatrical rock show packed onto a club stage. So it's like spilling over into the audience, and it's really a feast for the senses, pun intended or not. But there's not much separation between what goes on with the audience and the band. There's just a whole lot of participation and things that are kind of going on and off the stage. And he's flipping burgers on a smoking grill while he's singing. There's birthday party magic. It's and it's creepy and a little scary, but not so much that it's not family friendly. It really walks that line, and there's no cursing or adult themes, because I think that it's very important for Ronald, to the kids, to the families, to feel like the kids can get this message early on. And there's, the album is like in a coloring book or a pop-up book, it's like, it's all very, there's no modern technology, because he insists that he's teleporting here from the 1970s. So other thing, if you're worried about your kid having too much screen time or whatever, there's no downloading, there's nothing, there's tangible, coloring books and albums and stuff. So I think that he thinks that's good for the kids as well,
I love it. All that ties back to the kids at the end. Good for the kids.
Exactly. Let's do it for the kids.
Yeah, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. Well, two final questions. One, how many vehicles does it take to haul around all of that stuff?
It completely depends on the situation, but let's just say it's a large. If it's one vehicle, it's a large vehicle. If it's two vehicles, it's too large.
And the other question is, what is the weirdest fan gift that's ever been given?
Wow, I wish I knew that in advance. I would try to dig some things up, because there's been many. That is a great question, because there has been so many, and I wish I could think of what would actually truly be the weirdest. But I do have somewhere hanging up that's like a stuffed It's like a plushy stuffed bat burger, and then the bat head can be like pulled from the burger, kind of like, you know, to bite it off or something. Can be pulled, and then it snaps back in to this, like, it's like a stuffed animal bat burger with a sort of retractable head that you can bite off, and then it goes back.
That's amazing. That
Yes,
should be merch right there.
That's
That's definitely Max Sabbath merch. All right, well, Mike, thank you very much for joining us too, just to talk about this. I mean, seriously, such a weird amalgamation of so many different things that has just been made to work, and obviously it entertains people all over the world now at this point. And really excited to have it coming back to Portland, for everybody to get a chance to see it. Just thank you.
The whole bill is going to be a really over-the-top situation. There's a band from Guadalajara, space rock band from Guadalajara opening, and then this band that's like the most high-energy rock band that's touring right now ever. Is just, I can't even explain it. So
It's just a full lineup.
it's three-ring circus.
I can't wait. Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
So, like I mentioned, a wide range of topics here on Fox 12 now, but that is something that you can go attend. So if you were unaware of that, there's a little bit more details about Max Sabbath. Again, the phenomenon going to be at the Aladdin Theater on Friday, September 12th. We've got more coming up here for Fox 12 now, and if you are watching live, which I recommend the Fox 12 Oregon app to do so, or KPTV.com, another great way, but if you're watching on YouTube, however it is, thanks for doing that. We are going to be talking about a series of earthquakes that have occurred off the Oregon coast. One in particular last night. Now it's not near, this is several hundred kilometers off of the Oregon coast, but also a series of aftershocks that occurred. So we're going to be discussing that at 2 p.m. We've got the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network joining us to talk about that. So if you're watching live, come right back. If you're, however you're watching, I will be live at 2 p.m. here in about 12 minutes or so. If you're doing it specifically, if you're watching after the fact, check out all the things that we do. It's on that, again, on that app.